Oh, you know it's getting real when we go live. Hope y'all are doing well. We're going to get started here in just a little bit. Was hoping we wouldn't have to do another live for a bit, but Mother Nature is saying stand by. It's going to get real windy, and we're going to see some problems because of it. We'll get this sent out on social. Then we'll get started probably close to 8:55. Let us know where you're joining from tonight. On YouTube or Facebook, where you're watching from, and what you're wanting to know about the potential for storms tomorrow. Not looking like the worst severe weather event I've ever seen, but it definitely is one to bear watching. I want to see the potential of high winds. I want to see the potential of some wildfires. We may even wrap it up as a little bit of snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Say it ain't snow, Shane. Yes, it's snow. You know, if I'm going live, there's probably a little bit of snow in the forecast, but more focused on the severe weather tonight than the snow. We'll give everybody another minute or two to jump on. Stand by for some live meteorology talk from Meteorologist Shane Smith and the Bluegrass Weather Report on both Facebook and YouTube, coming to you live from London, Kentucky. We will get started in just a minute. Let folks know we are live. Share this, like it, get it going in the algorithm, because we got some stuff to talk about, people need to know about in the Bluegrass state. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey there, everybody. Been a hot minute since I've done a live. The winter weather's finally calmed down. We are seeing better weather conditions than what we have seen, but all good things. Area of low pressure currently building off to our west, back across Denver, Colorado right now. And that area of low pressure is going to push eastward through the overnight tonight, arrive in western Kentucky Tuesday evening, likely bring some severe weather to western Kentucky. But before it gets here, even hours before that front moves in, the winds are going to rip. We are going to see wind gusts tomorrow, 60 to 65 miles per hour. That is not hyperbole. That's not me jumping up on the rooftop looking for clicks. That is what some of the models are showing, and that is a legitimate potential tomorrow. So let's break it down for you. Here is tomorrow's storm outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. They have a good chunk of the bluegrass from around Corbin over to Somerset to Campbellsville to E-Town over to Owensboro in a marginal risk, a 1 out of 5. So this is not going to be a huge severe weather setup. This is not going to be a generational tornado outbreak. In fact, if we get a tornado warning in Kentucky tomorrow, I'm going to be surprised. We just don't have the shear. The shear is going to be down in the deep south. They've got a much higher risk of severe weather. Here in the bluegrass, our main concern, straight line winds. But even outside of thunderstorms tomorrow, the winds are going to rip. We already have wind advisories out for much of the state. I suspect the Weather Service offices up in Wilmington, over in Charleston, and in Jackson will finish filling in this map tomorrow, because most of the state is at threat for some very, very strong wind gusts. We're talking during the day, 40, 50 miles per hour. Tomorrow evening, 50 to 60. Now, let's break it all down, take a look at the models, and see how this plays out. Now, I'm starting with a piece of data I don't normally show a lot, and that is relative humidity. Now, first of all, I don't think relative humidity is the best way to measure moisture in the atmosphere. I prefer dew point for that, but relative humidity makes more sense in that. That's the ratio of the amount of humidity in the atmosphere versus what it could hold before it gets saturated. Winds are going to start tomorrow morning in Corbin, Maria. We could see gusts up to 40 miles per hour tomorrow morning. We'll talk about the wind in just a second, but I wanted to start with the humidity because the humidity plays into one of my big concerns for tomorrow morning, and that's the threat of wildfires. Notice here on the relative humidity map, we are keeping things nice and very dry tomorrow. It's not until tomorrow evening when we start cranking up those moisture levels as that front rolls through. So we've had very dry conditions today. That will linger into tomorrow morning. Notice humidity levels 40 to 50% with a dew point in the 40s. That's some pretty dry conditions. We're going to couple that with wind gusts tomorrow morning in western Kentucky, 30 to 40 miles per hour, and eventually pushing into eastern Kentucky later. So this is 10 a.m. Those gusts pushing 35 or so around London, 40 in Lexington, low to mid 40 mile per hour range out in western Kentucky. And then as the storm system, as the front actually blows in here tomorrow night into central Kentucky and eastern Kentucky. Here you go. This is the North American Mesoscales model take on the wind gust for tomorrow night. This is midnight Eastern time, 11 o'clock Central time. All that yellow you see from Lexington down to Williamsburg, over to Monticello, through Danville, stretching east to Winchester, over towards Irvin, that's 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So even outside of thunderstorms tomorrow night, we could have wind gusts pushing 60 miles per hour. That's going to be enough to bring down trees, could cause some issues with power lines. I'm expecting some power outages tomorrow night. That is going to be in addition to the wind gusts tomorrow morning in that 40 mile per hour range, and the low humidity conditions could lead to the potential of wildfires. You've seen it down in the Carolinas. If you've seen some of the video coming out of Myrtle Beach the last couple of days, the mountains of North Carolina, down south of Asheville, there's been some pretty strong wildfires. We may get some of those conditions here in central, eastern, and western Kentucky tomorrow. I think the biggest chance of wildfires will be in central and eastern Kentucky. Western Kentucky will bump those humidity levels up quick enough that I don't think it will be as big an issue out there. But we're still talking tomorrow morning a wind gust from I-75 westward 30 to 40 miles per hour, and it'll get into eastern Kentucky later in the day. So you see by 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, Pikeville, you're registering gusts in the 40 mile per hour range. Somerset, 50 mile per hour range. Pikeville, you get the 60 mile per hour gust overnight into early Wednesday morning. And then we could even see another strong storm or two spike up Wednesday in the afternoon. So that is something we are going to have to watch very, very closely as we go throughout the day Tuesday. Now, let's break down how the radar plays out. There is a small chance of a rain shower early in the day tomorrow, especially in western Kentucky as the warm front lifts through. It's a non-zero chance. I'd call it 10-20%. Most of us will be dry, but a few isolated showers are possible. The main event gets rolling around Paducah, 4 o'clock local time tomorrow. and then another line pushing through about 6. I think we will see some isolated storms ahead of the main line. Still not enough shear to look like a big tornado threat. But we could get a few renegade supercell thunderstorms. But the big squall line, if we see one, will be around the I-75 corridor between 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Maybe a little before that if we get a 1-2 punch going. The model data differing a little bit. Then on the back side of this system, Wednesday night, say it ain't snow. Oh, but it's snow. We could see some light snow accumulations on the back side of this system. In fact, I'm going to switch models real quick so we can go just a little bit further in the future. European showing a general 10th inch. GFS going pretty aggressive in the mountains, 1-2 inches. I'm not going to rule it out, but we're gonna have a lot of melting. But I could see a dusting to a coating with maybe the typical high terrain spots Wednesday night into Thursday morning, getting a little bit of snow. But my main concern, as I've said before, is the fire risk tomorrow morning and the wind risk tomorrow night. Now, our friends over at the National Weather Service in Jackson have put together a really, really nice briefing, and I wanted to share that with you. So they're talking about the wind advisory that starts tomorrow morning. 2 rounds of particularly strong to damaging wind gusts late Tuesday into Tuesday night and again on Wednesday. Low chance of severe thunderstorms with cold front passage. Snow showers wrap around with the system Wednesday night and Thursday with minor snow accumulation primarily over the highest elevations. Wind advisory now in effect near and west of I-75 for 3 p.m. Tuesday through midnight Wednesday. So that's their first slide. Here's that near critical fire weather conditions, noting the extremely dry air and the strong wind gusts. That could definitely cause some problems. I don't know if it's going to be enough for a red flag warning. I think you need less than 20% humidity for that. But it's going to be close, especially in the Cumberland Valley. So, folks, just watch. Don't do any burning. Don't toss cigarette butts onto the side of the highway. That could be a good way to catch the forest on fire, catch grass on fire. It's not something we want to deal with. First round of strong winds. This is Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. Southeasterly to southerly winds trend more southerly late in the day and increase between 10 and 20 miles per hour. Gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour can be expected across most of eastern Kentucky Tuesday evening. Near and west of I-75, gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour are likely, and isolated gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour are possible. Sporadic gusts over 40 miles per hour could also occur near and south of the line from London to Hazard to Pikeville, especially over the higher elevations. Winds will diminish for a time later in the night, but then we get another round of wind after that, in addition to a low-end threat for severe weather. Here's what the Weather Service has to say about that. Marginal risk of severe thunderstorms exists for areas along and south of the Kentucky 80 corridor near the Tennessee border. The cold front moving across the region late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning will bring a weakening line of showers and thunderstorms. An isolated severe thunderstorm with the line could still occur. The main threat will be damaging wind gusts. So once again, this is not a big severe weather threat, but it is enough to pay attention to. And finally, a second round of strong wind on Wednesday. Gusts not as strong, but we will likely see wind gusts of 35 to 50 miles per hour during the day, Wednesday morning through during the day on Wednesday. And winds diminish during the afternoon and evening as precipitation, initially rain showers, spread across back the area and then eventually turn over to snow. So that is from our friends over at the Weather Service in Jackson, and they show a 50% chance of at least a 1/10 of an inch of snow. Localized accumulation of a dusting on grassy surfaces possible up to 1 inch on the top of the higher mountains near the Virginia border. Travel impacts should be negligible. So, it's not a huge setup, but it is one that could cause some problems. I am worried about power outages tomorrow and Wednesday. I am also worried about the fire weather risk. It'd be very easy for some wildfires to catch and go tomorrow. Whoops. So, do you folks have questions about what to expect with the weather? I'm going to skip the traditional 7-day forecast for tonight. I may do that another time. But yeah, pretty strong winds. Could see some wildfires. Could see some power outages. Could see a little bit of nuisance snow Wednesday night into Thursday. Kids hoping for a snow day. I ain't feeling it this time. Ground's too warm. So once again, folks, if you're just joining us, we are tracking the threat of strong winds tomorrow. A twofold risk, with the risk of enhanced wildfires on Tuesday morning through the afternoon, then a low-end severe weather risk for tomorrow night. It's 1 out of 5, mainly in the southwestern part of the state. Tornado risk looking minimal. I think that's going to be much further south tomorrow, although I do suspect a pretty good outbreak around parts of Arkansas, maybe even over towards Louisiana tomorrow. We'll have to see how everything shapes up tomorrow, but probably going to be a bigger outbreak to our southwest, at least here in the Bluegrass. Minimum severe weather, but even without the quote-unquote traditional severe thunderstorms, gust in excess of 60 miles per hour, and that is nothing to mess around with. That's going to cause some issues tomorrow night, and then we could see some gusts up to 50 on Wednesday. All right, folks. Well, we are just past 9 o'clock, so we're going to wrap this up. Not a huge deal, but just enough that I did want to pop in and do a live stream instead of just a traditional video. Thank you guys so much for all the support lately. The channel's really grown on Facebook and on YouTube. We've now crossed the 1,200 follower threshold on my Facebook page, Meteorologist Shane Smith. So thank you all. For those of y'all who have followed me over there, please continue to like and share our content there. YouTube, we're growing slowly, but we're growing. Just shy of 400 subscribers. I would love to boost that up over 400 or 500 over the coming weeks. Really helps out and makes it a little bit easier to keep doing these videos. And I definitely want to talk more weather with you guys in the future. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Share this content out so more folks see it. And we will probably do a little bit of a video tomorrow talking about what's going on. We'll see if we need to do live or if we just do a little recorded video, but I will cover the storm as it's happening tomorrow. Once again, not a huge deal, but the gusty winds could definitely cause an issue. Watching out for that fire risk. Also, one thing a lot of people aren't mentioning that I am slightly concerned about with this kind of wind coming through, could see some more rock slides. So rock slides, something to watch out for too with the wind and the rain as it rolls in tomorrow night. So that is it. I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. Thank you for joining us for this live edition of the Bluegrass